You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Aline, the co-author of the books Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors and The Best Known Roofer. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the leading digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I sit down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to the final episode of the Roofing Success Podcast for 2023. This is our annual recap episode. Man, it's been a good year. We have, done 51 episodes with roofing contractors and some industry experts that I hope really provided you value in your roofing business or will provide value in your roofing business. We've had some milestones. We charted as high as 52 on the Apple Podcasts in the business category, the marketing subcategory of the business category, which to me is an amazing thing, right? This is a show for roofing company owners, right? I know a lot of you listening, maybe salespeople, you may be in the production side. There are some of you that are listening that are not in roofing, which amazes me every day because the lessons carry through from business to business. But it's been amazing, right? It's been an amazing year. I've had some great conversations with some great people. I want to start off from a clip from a friend of mine, Deshaun Bryant, about self-awareness and emotional maturity in growing your roofing business.
Also, in order for guys to grow, you have to be mature, right? Because immature people don't grow because they think they know everything, right? They're like, I got this. I don't need no help because you're immature. Mature people got enough humility to realize that I'm good, but I ain't great. I'm great, but I ain't phenomenal. And like maturity is broken up of three keys, right? It's obedience, submission, and then acquiesce, right? So obedience, right, is you just follow directions, right? Like you compliance to an order with gladness, right? That's obedience. You compliance to an order with gladness. Submission, right? The act of accepting or yielding to a force with excitement and enthusiasm. So that's yielding to a force, right? Like when you yield on the interstate, you let somebody in so y'all both can go in the same direction. When you yield to somebody else, you're like, okay, I'm yielding to your leadership, your guidance, your coaching. I'm not fighting it. I'm yielding to it, which means I'm coming your direction. And then acquiesce, to reluctantly accept the thing without protest, which means most coaches, most trainers, most mentors will always ask you to do something that's counterintuitive to the way that you would do it. But you do it anyways. You're like, I don't really want to do that, but I'll do it anyways. And when you get the results, you're like, whoa. And you continue to be more of a student. So the thing that kills people growth is their immaturity. And if you're not mature enough, you don't possess what it requires to be obedient to another man. You're not submissive to another man. And then you don't possess acquiesce, because most guys are so fixated on the way that they do things. They think the way that they do it is always right. And if it ain't broke, why don't fix it? And it's like, it's not because it's not that it's broke that we don't fix it. It's because it's not as good as it can be that we need to fix it.
I love what Deshaun says there, right? We have to be self-aware. We have to be mature. We have to be willing to put in the time on things that may not be broken. They may be working okay. Sometimes we need to turn it up a little bit. And one of the things that I've been kind of talking about a lot this year out at conferences and doing presentations around at the IGO Roof Pro Power Profit Power events, at the IRE, at RoofCon, at Roofing Process Conference, at Win the Storm, at all these places, right? At the Job Nimbus Crew events, all over the place. I've been having this conversation about the customer journey. And I really think that focusing and being intentional on the customer journey is something that will truly impact your business. So it starts with focusing on the customer, right? It starts with focusing on the customer. So I want to play this clip from Mike Pickle on just that.
I think, the biggest thing is understanding that the industry is ever changing, but yet there are opportunities to raise the expectation or raise the bar for the people that need roofing services. I think if you just come in or you think that, the way that you do things is the way that it's going to be forever, it'll work for a little bit. But you've got to be able to adapt. I mean, I think there's just so much going on in the roofing industry, even that we've seen in the last 9 years, that are just completely different than they were, and we've all experienced what, material shortages are like commercially. We're currently experiencing what it's like residentially and material shortages. And so just understanding that it's going to change, but there is opportunity within that change at the end of the day to help the people who need roofing services. That's the biggest thing. It's just focusing on the customer, not on yourself, focusing on what the customer needs, focusing on, what are the people that are looking for a roof looking for? What is most helpful to them? What is, you're always trying to solve their problems before they have the problem. You're not trying to fix your business for your problems. That's it. I mean, there's opportunity everywhere and it's always changing.
All right. In the customer journey, it starts with awareness, right? It starts with people becoming aware of your company. So in that customer journey, I want to play these clips from Bryson Berard, John Hogan, and Sage Sorathian about that awareness and that brand and being present in your market for people to know who you are and who to call when it's time.
Probably the biggest thing is just like the way I look at Nike. Like I'm a kind of guy that I like the nicer stuff. So it's like, man, if I could build my company into something that people could take pride in and say, no, I got my roof done, almost like a bragging thing. Like I got my roof done by In the Light Roofing. That was kind of like one of those things that I was like, I wanted to grow that side of it where, we wrap our trucks and, we try to have signs, pretty much all over the place in our location. So it was one of those things that, and everyone that works here, we take pride in what we do and who we are as a company and how we want to grow that. So just, I think having a good brand behind you is something that
I think what I've learned is building the brand for the long term, even though it's frustrating when you first get started and you don't want to hear it and you're like, I need clients right now. I totally understand that. But it really is, it's a slow game. It compounds over time, but you've got to put in the work and you've got to believe. And I know it's scary at times, but you got to believe that it does work out, that you're doing the right things and you're following the right processes. Because in my opinion, these gimmicky type of marketing ploys, they don't work. And if they do, they're short-lived. It's not something that you can go from, let's just say you're a $5 million in revenue company. If you just 10x your marketing budget, you're not going to do 50 million the following year. Like forget infrastructure and processes and systems, like forget all of that. Just marketing and sales wise, you're not going to do it, period. You're not going to bring in that amount of leads. It's a slow, methodical, compounding process, in my opinion.
Because everyone knows the brand and everyone's talking about the brand, right? So they know, okay, when they're on this walking around, they see our vans, right? Our vans with our logos on it. And they're like, oh my God, they're everywhere. I actually, was really funny. I met a woman through another friend randomly a few weeks back. And she was like, she lived in the area where we work, Jersey City. And she's like, wow, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I own a roofing company with my fiance. And she goes, oh, what's the company? I was like, oh, Capital Roofing. She goes, oh my God, I've seen your trucks everywhere. And I'm like, what? And I was like, wow. And that was it. I didn't even go into like where we're located or anything. She's like, oh, is that like the dome one with the Capitol building looking logo? I'm like, that's us. And she's like, you guys are everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, no, we try. And so for us, it's more, given that they see our vehicles everywhere, knowing, that, and because it's such a tight little area, it's hard not to see us really. We are really everywhere. And just when I think I was like, oh, I feel like we took over all of Hoboken and it's like a 1 square mile town. No, we have not. Like there's still properties popping up someplace. And so, I think for us, the word of mouth is great and brand, but that goes with the brand, right? I mean, like everyone they know the brand, right? So they know Capital. They don't know Eric. They don't know Sage. They don't know my guys. They know Capital.
Again, awareness is how people become aware of your company. They need to know who to call when they have a problem, right? Then in the customer journey, they start moving into a consideration phase. And this is where, there's a lot of other touch points. There's a lot of other things that can happen that really build that trust in the consideration stage, right? They're comparing other contractors maybe. They're thinking of who to call. They're looking at reviews. They're doing all of that. So here's a clip from Dan Zrihan and Donovan Morgan on what I think captures that consideration stage.
I'm coming from a door-to-door perspective. Door-to-door is a very aggressive form of marketing, and it teaches you so much about yourself. It teaches you so much about the marketplace. You learn that as long as you can walk down a street and talk to people, there's no such thing as a recession for you. So I think the most important thing that you can learn is the ability to generate the business, right? That's the first step. That's the first leg of the race. This is a relay race. This company, every one of these construction companies, roofing, you name it, it's a relay race. And the first leg of the relay race is marketing and sales. And that's the first run. And that has to be a good handoff to the next department, right? So it's learning how to market and sell, number one, and then paying attention to those transitions.
Especially coming from the moving, like I was saying, the quality of life.
Yeah.
So with this, I actually get to give them a product. We build a roof and they're actually happy.
Yeah.
They feel like they're on their own home improvement show. Yeah. So with the mindset, I'm literally like, hey, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
It's free. And it's kind of like me saying, hey, you have a flat tire and I'm a mechanic. Like, you're going to say no? Like, no, I don't. What do you mean? I'm telling you the flat tire. Like, so, or at least you could just inspect it, see how much air pressure you have in there. The very least, right? It's the same thing with the roof. It's a free inspection. There's a storm in the area. The very least you can do is just check to see if you have damages.
That's right.
Because if you do, then you can be proactive. Or if you don't, now you know you're good.
All right. From that, right? From that consideration stage, we're moving into the purchase decision-making phase. And at this stage, we really need to know what a customer's thinking. We really need to shine a light on the value of our company, that we're going to be here for the long term, that they're making the right decision. And so I really feel like this clip from David Pogensee with Texas Select Contracting, Construction and Roofing, I think that they do a great job of this. They do a great job of invoking trust with their brand and at the kitchen table. And so here's a clip from David.
One, realizing, because when you first start off, you want to roof every house in the Metroplex. That's my goal. But realizing that, one, we have a customer. We have a customer base. For us, it's upper middle class neighborhoods. We don't do a lot of work with smaller houses. It's not that we won't, but we're just not going to market and put our efforts towards that because of the value that we bring. I think that's the biggest part. And then becoming self-aware of what my real goals are with the company. And I think everybody in the company would have the same idea or goal is, we don't want to be the biggest roofing company in the Metroplex. We don't want that. We just want the recognition and the peace of mind that we do good quality work. We're going to provide you with a good quality product, and we're going to teach you how the process goes. And we're going to make you feel good about the process. I'm going to make you feel good about paying that deductible. It's peace of mind. When you pay that deductible, it's peace of mind. I'm not getting robbed. I'm not getting taken. I'm getting a good quality product with a good company that's going to be around. Because that's a part people don't understand. When somebody's eating your deductible, it's coming from somewhere, and they're probably not going to be around. And if like we give a 7-year workmanship warranty, if I'm not around in 7 years, that workmanship warranty doesn't have the weight that it does now.
So now they've made their decision, right? They've become aware of you. There's some consideration involved. Now that you've built enough trust for them to make that purchase, right? To sign that contract, to choose you as their roofing contractor. Now you got to deliver this service, right? You got to deliver the service at a high quality. And so I have a clip here from Derek King and also from Kaylee Smith talking about the delivery of those services and sometimes in the communication, right? Kaylee's going to talk a little bit about the communication that you can structure through automation to help deliver that customer experience. So check out these clips from Kaylee and Derek.
I'm going to share my favorite one a customer shared with me because I think it's such a cool idea. So they had 2 automations set up at Job Nimbus, and one was for a high communication customer, like a customer who wants constant updates, and one for a low communication customer. Someone who just wants I just want to know when you're coming to my house. I don't care about anything else. And they could tag it in Job Nimbus and choose which funnel they had. So the customer got to tell them, this is how much communication I want. And they had to set it up automatically. So they didn't have to worry about it. They didn't have all the calls coming in their office anymore. And I loved that whole concept. So like that kind of creativity and getting people to take care of your customers the way they want to be taken care of, automating it makes it so you can.
I feel like you can get a lot of companies to nail the shingles, but fascia board, the details of the flashing, the little stuff, or something as simple as a dumpster scuffing some sod. If you just say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'll get some sod and throw it down." Is that aggravating? Putting a superintendent, going to a place to get sod? It is aggravating, but it's the best, in my opinion. It gives you an opportunity to go above and beyond. And if you want customers to say, "Hey, hire True Force Roofing," because they go above and beyond to achieve your satisfaction, that's what you want them to say about you. So, but you have to earn it.
You've delivered, right? You've built them a quality roof. Your cleanup was exceptional. The customer experience was exceptional. The best contractors I know turn one into many, right? And that many comes in the form of referrals over and over again from past customers. I like to say, who refers you? People that you do good work for, right? And so if you do good work for people, they will refer you. Sometimes you have to make sure that you ask, though, right? You have to make sure that you're asking for the referrals, but you're also creating that experience. So the last phase of the customer journey is loyalty. You want these customers to be to talk about your brand in such high regard after the project is done, right? So I want to start off with a clip from Brian Farr talking about the quality of work and how that leads to those repeat and referral customers. And then another clip from Otis Floyd that also talks about, hey man, you got to ask, right? And this is how you ask. And maybe sometimes you incentivize those homeowners into referring you business, and sometimes they end up turning into salespeople for you, right? So that's what you want to create in this customer journey. You have your awareness, your consideration phase, your decision making phase, then moving on to the delivery and then into the loyalty phase. So check out these clips around loyalty and creating referrals.
Do the right thing at all expense. We've had issues come up where a lot of guys could cover them up or whatnot. You didn't include it into the contract. If it's our sales guy's fault, then it's not an expense to the homeowner. So do the right thing when no one's looking. It's probably one of the biggest things. I've got another one to add too. Is really it's about the people. So rather than focusing on the product, and hey, we got to make sure the products are really just we spend a great deal of time making sure that everybody within the company's happy. They're healthy emotionally, financially, physically, and that seems to translate into a fantastic product and happy homeowners and all that. So that might be a little bit of secret sauce we have there too. Really caring about the people that work here, and when things go bad, especially with a new rep, there's never really, it's we'll figure it out. We'll make it through it, and make it a learning lesson. It's not a come sit in my office. It's what happened. Let's figure it out. Let's get through this one. Everybody do it once. Don't do it 5 times. Let's learn from this one time. And I think the sales guys appreciate that. They're the ones making the mistakes out there just because they don't know. So you got to teach them. When companies hire 15 sales guys, pat them on the butt, say go knock doors, I couldn't imagine the paperwork coming in the office. I don't think we could function that way. No.
I say, well, now you have to call in because the squeaky wheel
gets oil
first.
Yep,
they be like,
yep.
okay, I understand.
Yep.
And once they call in, then their claim get moved from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Because I say, look, tell me you want to speak to a manager. It shouldn't take this long. Now management in it. Call your agent. Now the agent's in it. Oh, yeah, I'm giving it to him because now I got to cater to my customer, my homeowner.
Yeah.
No longer the adjuster.
Yeah.
Right? So because if I take too long, another roofer might knock on their door.
That's right.
And cut costs on me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go with them because they came in $2,000 short. No, I'm moving. You gotta keep that ball moving. I had to pay one customer like close to like $2,000 because she just kept bringing in referrals.
Uh-huh.
And to the point where I told her, look, you gave me about 8 leads right now. If you keep doing this, I give you 10% or whatever the job is.
You might hire her as a salesperson.
Yeah, I actually, that's how I look at it.
Yeah,
I try to turn my customers into my sales lead generation.
Yeah.
If you get over 10 leads for me, I'll start giving you percentage of the next jobs. And they like, really? And I give them an example. So if the roof is $20,000, you make $2,000. Well, can I get a hat and some cards and some flyers? You sure can. I give you everything you need because I wouldn't have got those leads.
That's right.
If it wasn't for her anyway.
Yeah.
They calling up the church. Hey, can you go do an inspection on the church? Now I'm looking at churches. So I use that.
All right, now moving on. Right, we have the perfect customer journey. I think is something that you need to be intentional about. Right, that's focusing on the customer, and I think there's been a very common theme in the podcast with successful roofing contractors that they really focus on that, right? They really focus on the experience of the customer, and that is what has made them successful. But I think there's other things that make them successful, and a couple of those things are mindset, right? You have to have an abundance mindset to be in business, right? To be in business and to move forward, you have to have an abundance mindset, and you have to have a focus on your team. And so I want to play a couple of clips here. One from Patrick Moose from Moose Roofing out in the Omaha area, and one from Michelle Cox out of the Indianapolis area with Cox Roofing. They just amazing mindsets around their team and their culture. So check out these clips.
It's amazing the things if you just turn people loose and allow them to think, again, here we go, but teach people just to think. Don't teach them what to think, right? Like just go, right? And the product of that mentality and that attitude, if you do have an abundant mindset, the scarcity mindset is the antithesis, right? That's that whole thought process of I gotta figure this out, and then I gotta keep it a secret as long as I possibly can so somebody doesn't knock me off, and I can get as much from me as I possibly can get my hands on. And it's like, man, if you're doing anything, and this is something that I say all the time to our people, if you're doing anything and you've got a goal set or you're solving for a problem that is something that you can handle on your own, you're thinking way too small. And I picked that up from my business mentor, who, again, somebody else who for whatever reason, because I think there was a time when I certainly didn't outwardly appear to be worth it, but just ministered into my life, just fed and fed and fed relentlessly, no matter what the feedback was that he was getting. It's like every time I ever asked, he was always right there. And I'm going like, why, man? What did you see? Because I certainly didn't see it in me, right? And it's like, and that's what it was. It's just like always, just like, just let it go. Just go. Because if you can get together with people and you can do something, somebody said, I think the saying goes something to the effect of, you want to do something perfectly and you want to get it right, do it yourself. You want to do something that changes things forever and scales, you got to do it with the team, right?
I actually have had 2 or 3 employees that have opened their own company, and I can't function based on fear. I cannot. If I'm going to have people with me, it's because they're going to become the best at what they do, And if I provide a home that they feel comfortable with and gives them enough, then they will stay, But there's also the aspect of, and I ask them that question when I'm going to hire somebody, do you eventually see yourself owning a company? And you can be honest with me, because if you are, then just let me know. I'll help you out. And as long as you don't lie to me or steal from me or cheat, I'm going to be right there clapping for you, and I'm going to be supporting you, So it will be really selfish on my end to ask them to give me 2, 3, 4, 5 years of their lives and not let them chase their own dreams, But like I said, just do it right, and I'll support you, because at the end of the day, what motivates me to continue to work hard for this business is to provide opportunities. That's my motivation, not the money, not anything else. Provide opportunity. So if that's something that you want, it's not easy, and you won't be my competition, because it took me, as of today, 11 years to get where I'm at. So it will be hard for me to believe that tomorrow you're going to open a company and within 6 months you're going to be better than me, So you're going to have some catch up to do, and I wish you the best.
So with the right mindset, you can get moving, right? It'll carry you through those day-to-day challenges that you're having. But another way to overcome those day-to-day challenges is really through discipline. And there's been a couple of great clips on the show this year about discipline and how that plays a role in your roofing business. So, a couple of clips here. One from George Villegas, one from Paul Nolan, and one from Tommy Mello. Check out these clips on the discipline that you need in your roofing business.
The real freedom goes to the people who have the most self-discipline. It's somewhat of a conundrum, right? If you are not self-disciplined, you will eventually run out of freedom, and you'll eventually run out of money. You won't be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, because you will have put yourself in a position where you can't afford to. They're like, hey, I want a shot at management. I said, are you organized? And some of my guys are honest, some of them aren't. Yeah, I'm pretty organized. Okay, cool. Let me see your collections list. Well, said, okay, well, come back and talk to me when you're organized, because if you're not organized enough to maintain your own life, then you're not organized enough to maintain anyone else's, and I would be putting you in a position and setting you up for failure. And I got a couple guys that still ask me to this day, can I do management? Are you organized in that? No, you're right, I'm not. But I'll let you know when I am. And it's been fucking years, Jim. I'm talking these same guys, but at least they're honest with themselves. I got to give them that much credit. And I'm like, hey, buddy, we've been having this conversation since 2019. You're still not organized? Like, make the fucking decision and make the move. Or just accept the fact that, you know what, I am never willing to take to forego the time and effort that it's going to take to get to a point where I've got homeostasis and I'm organized, and then I can maintain from there. So fuck it. That's just not the path I'm going to go down, and that's fine too. But so many people with pipe dreams, and again, organization in this business, it will make or break a successful salesperson. And so in any profession, self-discipline, which in organization goes hand in hand, is one of the most imperative character traits to success.
Just don't give up. I mean, this industry has a lot to offer. It can be a real business, a real career, a real path to success if you just stick to it, but you got to be diligent. You have to go out and reach for help. You got to listen to the people that already did. They're doing it. They're making the money. You got to you got to implement these things. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk, implement all these systems. You as a owner, change your mind, change your thought process. Don't think so small anymore. It's not about, I find that if you think it nowadays, anything I want to do in my business, if I think it enough, for some reason, my actions, everything I do drives me towards that. So that's what I would tell anybody. Just get that drive. Just keep going.
Every single role, from our CFO down to our CMO, down to our technicians, our CSRs and dispatchers, they've got skin in the game. When I'm winning, they're winning, and vice versa. Somebody makes $200,000, I am a cheerleader. I'm excited. And the Elevate mindset is figure out what's important to them. Do they want to own a house? Do they want to take their kids to Disney World? Do they want to take their dad to Europe on a great camping trip? When you can motivate people from what they want, they don't care about the records of the company unless they have equity. And I always recommend an equity incentive program. There's a reason why every private equity company has profit units, and they give them out to C-suite and directors. There's a reason why every public company does stock offerings to their people, because it gives them ownership in the outcome. And I just don't understand the small mind of saying, I deserve this all, because you could go 10 times faster when everybody's rowing in the same direction. And, a lot of people, they're not honest with themselves. They look at themselves. They say, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to be a better dad. I'm going to show up for my wife. They lie to themselves every day in the mirror. They look into the mirror and they say, who's going to take you seriously? I'm going to start getting in shape. And then you don't. You never made quit lying to yourself if you want people to take you seriously. You read a new book, you got a new idea, who cares? It's going to last 2 weeks and you're going to go on to the next thing. You got to have discipline. And very few people have discipline and consistency, and they want it tomorrow instead of putting in the hard work.
All right, those were some awesome clips around discipline. You need that discipline, right? Business is hard. It's a thing that I heard this year was that business is an infinite game. There is no end, right? We may have milestones, but it's infinite. There's another day. We wake up and do it again. We wake up and do it again. We wake up and do it again. And in that waking up and doing it again, to become a true business owner, you have to really invest in your business. And when we talk about investing in your business, it's not, buying shingles and things like that you can put in your warehouse. Getting a warehouse. Your business ends up being made up of people. And so investing in your team is very important. So I want to have a couple of clips around investing in your team and around building the right team, right? And around people and what you need around people, from Sam Alsop, Sal Perozzi, Tony Flatham, and Rosalind Vergis. Check out these clips.
We've been doubling every year, and we're a little bit more than every year. We did $2.5 million in 2021. We did $6.5 million the next year. And then this year we're on track for 15. And the reason that we were able to do that is because we've been investing heavily into our company, right? And I think sometimes owners and entrepreneurs, they finally get to this level of success where they've got more money than they're spending, right? So there's a profit there, and they want to just hold on to that profit. And to a certain extent, yes, you're doing it to make money, right? But I think that investing into a good marketing, company like you guys, like investing into, salaries for your employees, that is not just the bare minimum, right? Like more than what other companies are paying their people, because you're going to get more out of them. They're going to enjoy their job more. Buying those trucks, putting the cool wrap on the truck that, people are going to recognize and see in the community. Like when we weren't doing that, I can just see how we would have stayed stagnant. You know what I mean? If we were just bringing people in at, hey, this is your salary, this is what other people are paying. Yeah, we sub everything out. We don't really have any trucks or anything like that. Everyone uses their own truck, and we're afraid. People can feel that hesitancy, and they can feel that you're not investing into your company, and you're not super passionate and confident in what you're doing. So when we flip that switch, kind of at the end of 2021, that's just when everything's been exponentially better in terms of growth and culture and performance, the bottom line, right? So that would be my one piece of advice is if you're confident in what you're doing, don't be afraid to go all in.
Yeah, I think the last critical element is really the talent development piece of it, right? So we've talked about, okay, we've laid out some of those expectations. What is our actual plan to develop these individuals into these different paths? That's just an area that I see so many people desperately want. That growth, that development in their roles, and it's just so scattered. I talked about that earlier, the transactional talent development, where it's like, go read this book or go get this podcast or go to this seminar and go to those trainings. And Jim, those are great things. I'm not knocking that, but I equate this to like, if I go play golf, right? And I go take some golf lessons, it is true that I go to those golf lessons, I'm going to be a better golfer. Absolutely, right? I'm going to pick up some things. It's going to elevate my game. But let's say I want to go pro in golf. I want to be one of the best golfers there are, right? That path looks different. I need to be a part of a golf team. We've got a training program. We've got a plan. We're meeting regularly. It's not once a month or here or there. It's like, this is a weekly habit practice that I'm going out to and participating in. And I'm doing it with others, right? I've got a team around me that I'm engaging in this with probably too, right? Maybe I'm doing some private lessons here and there, but I'm a part of a team. I'm a part of something bigger. And we together are trying to go pro.
And I think for me, Jim, is that it goes back to the culture that I have here, right? And sort of my philosophy, right? Yeah, I want to train somebody so good at their job that they could leave, but they're not going to because they really enjoy working here. You know what I mean? They really just like it. You're not going to have the same environment. You go, yeah, you might make a little bit more money, go and work for them, all right? Yeah, they're going to go ahead and pay you a bunch of money because you're here and you've done it for 3 years and I've trained at it and you really do your job well. But do you think, are you going to have all the memories that you have with us, and are you going to have the history, and are you going to have the relationships, and are you going to feel as comfortable as you do that after the first time you mess up, they're not going to be, freaking out or kicking you to the curb or whatever, versus like knowing that like, no, we're in this together. And again, I think it's training people to where they could leave, but again, treating them well enough that they're not going to, right?
Yeah.
And really creating that culture and that environment that they want to be in.
Recruiting good people and just training good people. And it's like, if you got to get your people better or get better people. And if you can just really focus on bringing in more people that are like you, that you want to grow with and multiply, and then trusting them too. I mean, just giving them roles, have them develop and have them realize like, hey, what would you do in this situation? I mean, okay, you brought me a problem. What's your solution to it? Not that I would be the solution that we're going to go with and fix, but I want to hear what you would have to say. And most of the times they have a really good answer, and they just develop to where if you can pull those people in and just have your people feel that they're actually doing something to grow the company. Because if it's always coming from a management or you're always saying, hey, do this, you have to get buy-in from your whole team to have them put in their ideas. And like we had our whole company go through our core values and put in what they would think and have us all kind of vote as a company on our core values, and change that about 4 years ago and made it more of a company-wide, core value and a mission statement and stuff. So it wasn't just from me or from our leadership or anything. It was, you just get more buy-in. You get people that want to work with you and not for you, and just get out there and get after.
The people are what makes your business, right? Having A players, having the best people, having them enjoy where they work, having them enjoy the community that you create in your work environment. There's a statistic. It's like 85% of people said that they would not take another job if they had a good friend at work, right? If they had a good experience, if they love coming to work every day, they won't take a job for, I think it was 10% more in pay. So really creating that environment, really combining on the mission, all moving in the same direction, everyone moving in the same direction at the same time, rowing in the same direction. But then you have to have a why, right? And I think the why changes for people. A lot of times initially it's that we want to make a living and we don't want to work for someone else. Or our why is, the company that I worked for was terrible. They did bad work. They really took advantage of customers. I want to do something different. And so creating that why is extremely important. So here's a couple of clips of people who I feel have a great why, and that's Tobiah Rocker and Stuart Hastings. Check out these clips.
We hear these stories all the time, individuals coming into this space and taking their lives to a whole different level. Yeah. So that's this is why I'm in this industry. It allows me to take someone that just got out of jail, that has tattoos all over their body and their face, and because I have a reputable roofing company, I can make him an installer. I can teach him how to nail on the shingle. I can teach him how to go drop materials. I can teach this individual that's a felon, a different trade, to change his life and his family. I can take somebody out of high school and say, I know you probably don't know if you want to go to college. I know you probably just lost. But in the meantime, when you figuring it out, you can go do door-to-door sales for me, and you'll make $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month. And then you can make a decision if you honestly want to go to college.
Yeah.
So there's this industry alone, right? It allows it to be a situation where we can create real change, real opportunity for individuals across the board. I'm family-based when it's dealing with working. I want people and individuals to, when we work together, when we connect together, if we're just in this space, and let's just say this roofing industry, I'm only comfortable working with individuals that I trust. So people who work for me, they can be extremely good workers, they can be good talkers, they can be all of this. But if I feel their energy, because I'm a very spiritual person, I am spiritually driven. So people that's in my culture, people that's in my, that work with me, these are people that I can honestly say I trust. Yeah. These are people that I can say that if anything was to happen and I needed to go sleep on their couch, I would be able to go sleep. Everybody else looks for individuals that they can take from. When I connect with individuals, I see how much can I give you? How much can I do for you? How much can I change your life? And I feel that if a business owner and other business owners, if they took more time to talk to their employees and their culture to say, what can I do to be a better boss? What can I do to bring you more value? What can I do to do anything to put you in a better situation? When they hear that, when they see that, if I'm going up and beyond to change someone's life, they're going to go up and beyond to change mine, because it goes hand in hand.
I want a very successful company. I want to be able to leave in my trail a successful company that makes money, that has really good employees, that does things for our community, and I want to leave an opportunity for the people that work for me to have a piece of that pie so they can do the same thing I did. And have that opportunity to have a financially secure life. I mean, I've got a guy that's been with me 17 years, and he's one of the guys that's going to be taking my company over. And he was fresh out of high school. He's done nothing but work for me. And I mean, that fires me up. I mean, to be able to give somebody else the same opportunity that I have, and with a company that's already doing it, they just have to replicate it. I mean, to me, that's the greatest thing in my business that I can offer, and would satisfy me more than anything, is to help these other people out to achieve what I have.
Everyone has to have their own why. You'll have to choose yours. I love to ask guests what's the greatest insight that they can share into finding success in their roofing businesses. And a lot of the common themes, and what I've come to realize over the years of doing this, is that to find great success in your roofing business, you need to have a powerful why. You have to build an amazing team of people to serve your customers on an extremely high level. So build a world-class customer experience and take care of people. Take care of your team, take care of your customers, and that will get you success in your roofing business. Thank you for another great year. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Hit that follow button, subscribe, comment, leave us a review. Talk to you soon. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. If you would like to generate more revenue through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com to get a copy of the book, The Best Known Roofer. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. Thanks for listening.